In 2002, the Express Rail Link in Malaysia opened. It's a two-line airport rail link connecting the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, to the rest of Klang Valley, Malaysia. It consists of the KLIA Express, a non-stop direct service between the airport and KL Central, the largest transport hub in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's capital city, connecting to more railway lines on the KTM, Rapid KL, and MRT networks. The other line is the KLIA Transit. It too serves KL Central and the airport, but it also stops at two towns by the names of Bandar Tasik Selatan and Salak Tinggi, with another stop at Putrajaya, Malaysia's administrative center, in between. 12 years later in 2014, Terminal 2 of Kuala Lumpur International Airport opened, and thus both ERL lines were extended to the new terminal. While the ERL does a good job at providing convenient access to and from KLIA and the urban areas of Greater Kuala Lumpur, I think it needs a little expansion. Why? Well, let's start by looking at this diagram. As you can see, Kuala Lumpur International Airport serves the most countries out of any airport in Malaysia at 39. At second place is Penang International Airport, serving 10 countries, but extremely far away from major cities and states bordering Selangor. Same thing goes for Langkawi and Johor Bahru, which serve 4 countries. In the states that border Selangor, their main airport only has one international destination plus one domestic destination, or in the rare case that is Negeri Sembilan, the state doesn't even have an airport at all. Which is why I think the KLIA Express Rail Link has some expanding to do. So where should it go? Well, first of all, I'd extend the line to the capital of Negeri Sembilan, which is Seremban. As of 2026, the only way to go between KLIA and Seremban by train is by taking the ERL all the way to KL Central or Bandar Tasik Selatan, then connect to the KTM, then circle back through southern Selangor until you finally reach Seremban. And as you can imagine, it takes unbearably long. You of course have the option to drive there, but knowing Malaysia, there's definitely going to be a crap ton of traffic and drivers forgetting turn signals exist, so an ERL extension would greatly benefit tourists and residents of Negeri Sembilan, and we can integrate a connection to the KTM services at Seremban to allow for convenient and faster traveling between Negeri Sembilan and KLIA. I also think the ERL could use an extension to Malacca. Believe it or not, Malacca actually does have an airport. It just has one destination. That's right, you can only go to Singapore from this airport. There isn't even a single domestic service available here. So if anyone's coming into Malacca from another country, they're gonna have to fly into KLIA, then get a 1.5-hour drive to get into the city center of Malacca. The poor Grab drivers, man. So yeah, I think an extension to Malacca would work for tourists entering the state or residents coming back from another country. The Malacca ERL station can be placed next to the Malacca Central Bus Terminus to allow for easy connection to bus routes to reach more areas in Malacca. The way I go about extending the ERL would look something like this. Section 1, marked in red, would wrap around the airport in a U-shape after stopping at Terminal 2. It then run parallel to the KTM West Coast line for the entirety of Section 2, marked in green, stopping at Seremban Station at about 35 kilometers away from the airport. 40 kilometers later, the ERL would split apart from the KTM West Coast line and run parallel to the AMJ Highway on Route 19 in Section 3, marked in blue. Afterwards, in Section 4, marked in magenta, the ERL would run along Malacca State routes M17 and Route M133 to not interfere with the commercial developments near the AMJ Highway. This is where things start to get a little tricky, because there are still a considerable amount of commercial developments near Route M133, and the area near the road would make building a railway parallel impractical. We could try build a viaduct here, but that probably cause traffic disruptions and costs a hefty sum of money. There are probably alternative routings possible that are much better than this plan, so feel free to comment routings of your own, as this was the best I could come up with. After passing by Route M133, the ERL would finally reunite with the AMJ Highway in Section 5, marked in orange, and make its way to Malacca Central. The total length of this extension would be around 120 kilometers, and travel time from KLIA would be around 20 and 70 minutes to Seremban and Malacca Central respectively, assuming an average operating speed of 105 kilometers an hour. I don't think we need to extend northwards because we can just go from the airport to KL Central and then connect to the KTM ETS to go further north into states like Perak. without having to reverse the direction of your travel. We're definitely not going to extend the ERL to an east coast state like Pahang, because the terrain of the Genting Highlands would make building a railway through it and into an east coast state very infeasible. Overall, I think the ERL would greatly benefit from a southward extension. I can see it extending into Seremban in the future, as it would make travelling between Negeri Sembilan and KLIA more convenient. We could be a little more ambitious and extend it further into Malacca, but that require extensive and thorough planning due to there being less space around Malacca, so building it in stages in such a way that Seremban opens first, then Malacca Central, would probably be the best option for this expansion. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this. It'd be greatly appreciated, especially because it's the first time I'm making a video of this nature. Also, feel free to suggest topics for future episodes in the comments. All episodes of Transit Thoughts will be Creative Commons licensed, so you can use them for any purpose, from reaction videos to commentary, or even making additional research on anything I might miss in these videos. Be free and make some awesome stuff with my videos.